Again. It's the 1st of March 2022. It seems like a long time ago that we talked and we had you on board. It seems like a long time until I saw my old mate Johnny Rowe. In fact,
How are you, Trev?
it
Good
was a
evening,
long time
everyone.
ago. It was last season. Good to see you, my friend.
Yeah, you too, mate. You too. I got to say, this is one of the longest pre-seasons I reckon of all time, and there's a good reason for that because all of last year was an off season.
Well, that's a fair point. That's a fair point too. You're looking well. Obviously, the Queensland climate's doing well for you. Looking $1 million up there, mate.
Yeah, cheers, mate. Cheers. I was actually trying to if I had time, I was actually trying to get myself a background with all the bubbles of water and stuff coming out. Just just live from the Queensland headquarters.
Yeah,
We've had
well,
a lot of rain.
if I see you start to gradually rise in the screen, then I know what's going on.
But yeah, feeling terrific. I haven't felt this well in years. I'm just, it's just a different lifestyle up here.
When did we last? When did we last talk? When did we last? It was probably it was
On camera. On
Yeah,
camera, I think it was.
yeah.
I think it was September, wasn't it?
Could have been. Could have been. And now you're frozen, so that's not good. Maybe the floods have got the internet connection up there. Brendan Whitford, good afternoon, good evening. Thank you very much for joining us back again. Chris Dimitrevic, g'day, Chris. Thank you for tuning in. Good to see you too. Hope you've been well. You had a frozen that moment there for a second, Johnny, but you're back again.
Yeah, apologies to the viewers. The internet is that patchy at the moment that I expect it to happen a couple of times. It's because of the floods and the lines. They aren't great.
You're not on dial-up up there, are you?
The next step up.
Maybe I'll ring my good friend Elon and see if he can get Starlink across 7:30s on Tuesday nights for us.
Yeah, give him a ring. He's got 2,100 or something of the satellites. So see if he can just ping us down for a while.
World War III can wait for a little while for our little show, surely.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, Ukrainians won't miss one satellite.
Yeah. Grego, yeah, thank you very much for joining us. Our good old mate there from Kalgoorlie. Thank you for tuning in. We love to see you. Andrew Google Lake, appreciate you tuning in, our very good friend, and all things all-knowing Carlton. If there's ever something we don't know, it's on the text and message to Andrew. He's the man. Greg Sando, g'day to you, Greg. Thank you for joining in. Big storm from Mildura. Hope I don't lose internet. Missed my Tuesday night. Thank you, mate. Cheers.
Good on you, Greg.
Good to be back with you. Grego, yeah, bought a snorkel. I don't know about Kalgoorlie needing a snorkel, but certainly up in where Johnny you might. Carly, who have we got? Carly Bumbus. G'day, Carly. Really appreciate you joining us. Mate, I must say I've missed doing the show. I don't know what it is. It's been, as I said, a long off season. We didn't have really footy to talk about last year in a real sense, but 2022, a lot of stuff is behind us, and hopefully we're back somewhat normal and have somewhat of a normal footy season.
Yeah, last year was a strange year. In fact, the last 2 years have been strange years, and it was difficult last year to actually get on and do the show, not only because of motivation, but what do you talk about? We're just reprehensible, weren't we? So it's hard coming on camera every week to say, it'll be all right, because we didn't feel it. Well, at least I didn't feel it last year. But all the hopes are fresh and all brand new. So,
look, 2022 is a new coach, new board, new players. We're back on top of the ladder, winning the premiership at this time of year.
Yeah, absolutely. The March premiers.
36-1, by the way, just in case you want to put a little flutter on.
Yeah, not bad. Not bad. Oh, look, it's one of those things, if we get everything together right, there's no reason why we can't do a Melbourne or a Richmond or a Bulldogs of a few years ago and do a very rapid rise.
Yeah, of course. Well, this is what we're all about, mate. We're a totally unbiased Carlton show. We've got to pump ourselves up and say we're going to win the grand final, and then wait till our hopes and dreams come crashing down in round 3. That's sort of how the script goes, doesn't
it? Yeah. Let's stay upbeat tonight. I want to stay upbeat tonight. I don't want to go into last season too much, but yeah.
Well, where do we start? What do you want to talk about first? Maybe a little bit of a rant, or maybe something about the sort of off-field changes. Do you want to get into first before we talk some footy?
Yeah, look, it's something that you and I have talked about, and Greg, Oyer and I have talked about, is what I haven't particularly liked in the transition. Is a lot of things, but with Voss coming on board, I'm probably like anyone, still a little bit wary. Didn't have a great record at Brisbane as a coach, but has done his apprenticeship now at Port Adelaide, but still got a lot to prove, I think. But for him walking in the front door, and here's the start of the rant. So if you if you need to press the rant button or turn it or mute me or whatever, let's go now. But to come in the front door and to say, and I'm going again.
That's better. No, I've just decided to put your rant and put your smaller while you're ranting. Because I'm in control, I can do that shit.
Shit bags. I've got to get better internet so I can get it control back. But, to come in the front door and say, get used to being uncomfortable really rubbed me up the wrong way. As a Carlton supporter, we've been uncomfortable since 1995. So for someone to come in and get used to it, tell you what, we're not ever going to get used to being shit like we have been. We're not going to get used to being uncomfortable. We have been uncomfortable. We want to be comfortable in the sense that we know that the team is heading in the right direction. We want to be comfortable in knowing that we've actually got a chance of making finals and actually this year, next year, 3 years, actually have a tilt at the whole thing. So don't give me this shit about being uncomfortable. You obviously have no idea of the fucking football club if you come in and say, prepared to be uncomfortable or get comfortable being uncomfortable or whatever it was. It's absolute garbage. Anyway, rant over.
Yeah, look, I'm not gonna hang him and draw and quarter him just on a comment like that. It was probably a silly thing, trying to pump up things and pump up himself in terms of getting a bit of oomph into the supporters and making us all feel nice and fluffy about what he's going to do to the players. It's to me it's powder puff stuff, rhetoric that we've heard plenty of times from every coach. Every coach will pump up their tyres at the start of the season. I jest about us being totally biased and expecting us to win the flag every year and our expectation. I'm changing my mindset now. I'm really now after actions, and that's all it's going to be. Talk is cheap. I'm hopeful and I'm confident that we will do well, but I'm not going to start. Like every year, put $50,000 on us to win the flag until we see some action.
Yeah, so I've got to take two music references here. All Keith Richards supporters and believers and all that would remember his album Talk It's Cheap, and you've just hit the nail on the head there. It's to take an old Aerosmith song. It's let the music do the talking. Now, don't come out with your big trap and say I'll be prepared to be uncomfortable. All that crap. Let's get rid of these PR lines and these slogans and all that nonsense. Let's get on the field and do it out there.
As the great Elvis Presley said, a little less conversation, a little more action, please.
Absolutely.
Harley,
anyway, that's my rant. All over, out the way.
That's a good rant. Good evening to you, Paul Quixley. Thank you very much for coming and tuning into us. We are looking forward to the season ahead very much. New board, essentially, new president, Luke Sayers, very active, I suppose, since taking over, and even prior to taking over from Mark Lejudice, set in place a review, if you like, an external review. Some heads rolled from that, some board heads rolled from that review. Obviously, there was some football heads rolled. We all know the coach's head rolled from that so-called review. So Luke didn't waste any time in stamping himself as the president. He's again been very active amongst the supporter base, very communicative with what he's been saying out there. Thanks probably to the PR person that's on the board driving a lot of that stuff. But that's a conversation for another day. I want to talk about a little bit about the board stuff before we go into footy, and I won't take too long about it. Supporters and members will know that there was a push essentially to oust the board. It started with these constitutional changes, which included giving more power to the board, lessening the ability to oust the board, and a few other, and then also the ability to really extend Luke Sayers as a president in that. So from that, supporters and members will remember there was a big push to have that changed. That was, and a gentleman by the name of Vince Loscisano was pushing for those constitutional changes to be rescinded. That call went unheard. Fast forward to a I suppose a push to oust the board. The numbers were put forward to have an EGM, which was again a vote to go and spill the board. The Carlton board went legal and essentially kiboshed that, eliminating the constitutional, what I saw as the constitutional right of members to have an EGM and essentially try and vote a board out. Strike one for me in terms of what the board was accused of doing, which was a power grab. I find it utterly disgraceful that they went that legal route to deny members the ability to vote the board in democratically and constitutionally. There was a call for, as there always is, or many times during the year, there was a number of vacancies put forward on the board, and there was people that put their name up to go on the board. Two of them I know. They both went up.
Was you bastard, wasn't it?
No, I withdrew my nomination, or I was nominated and I withdrew. First of all, Vince Loscisano was basically pushed away and said, "Look, we'll do a peace deal with you, Vince. If you drop your action, we'll give you a consultancy thing with the club." That's a very interesting take, as far as I'm concerned. Two people I know put forward applications to join the board. One rescinded after essentially being talked out of joining the board by the board. The other went up to the Independent Nominations Committee, and his nomination was disendorsed with the reasoning that he didn't have the necessary qualifications to join the board and experience, which was bullshit, total bullshit. That's what kind of club and board we're dealing with. A power-hungry, staying in control at all costs, and it concerns me.
Jobs for the boys and girls.
Jobs for the boys and girls. The candidates that were put forward by the board, of course, were endorsed by the so-called Independent Nominations Committee. So, to me, it's a disgrace, to be perfectly blunt. Luke Sayers has done some good things. He's appointed Brian Cook. He's obviously got in front of the supporter base. But at the end of the day, hopefully this whole exercise that's happened in the last 6 months has woken up the supporter base in terms of what this board is about primarily, and has been for a long time, is staying in power. Now, I think it's time to move on from that, acknowledge that it's happened, it's in the memory banks. I'm disappointed in it. I'm disappointed in my club. I'm disappointed in the board. If the things don't go right for us footy-wise this year, then I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know what's going to happen in the future. I don't know. But that's my rant. Start off the show.
Yep, here. If things on the field don't go all that well, it's going to be a massacre at the end of the year. Because we've been sold the dream for quite a long time, and right at the start of the journey, we were told that come 2020, 2021, we'll start to see the benefits of everything that we've done. And, we're at 2022 and we really don't know where we are on
We
field.
don't know where we are. We don't know where we are. Who said that? Brendan Whitford said it, finals or bust. It's just got to be finals. There's no excuses, no more conversations. It's got to happen. It's got to happen.
So Brendan and the audience and Trev, that's pretty much the Dallas Cowboys theory all the time. Doesn't matter where they are in the draft or what personnel that they've got. It's playoffs or heads roll. Is that the kind of mentality we need to get to or back to?
100%. 100%. This is a results-based business. Every head should be on the chopping block if results don't happen.
So why the
which goes back to my original, sorry to cut you off, original statement of the only heads seen to be rolled are not the power brokers at the board. It's the people, not the people who put the people in place, which is the board. It's the underlings under them who always be chopping and changing, the assistant coaches, the coaches, all of those are the people that get the heads that are roll. We've seen a few heads roll on the board this year, but essentially there's a lot of the rot still in there.
Yeah, well, you talk about the finals or bust, playoffs or bust. Every single coach got cleared out. Yet the director of football management, or God only knows what role that is. To me, that's fucking redundant because that person didn't lose their job, which means they had no input into the on-field dilemma. They had no input to it whatsoever. So that's a redundant role to me.
Well, I was shocked. That he was still in that position. Lloyd, we're talking about Brad Lloyd.
Yeah.
And after this review came out, it's essentially pointed to everything that the so-called football department head of football is responsible for.
Yeah.
We lost the CEO, of course. His head rolled. We lost some of the previous people that had been instigative of employing these people, these so-called headhunting $1 million people that have gone through extensive processes to get employed. So, yeah, I don't want to spend all my night talking about that, but and I'm happy to engage people if they want to debate me or disagree with me about that situation. People accused Vince of a power grab, wanting to go on the board himself. He never nominated. That didn't happen. We're hearing from Luke now in his PR machine that are making things warm and fuzzy to the members. That's fantastic. But again, we've said it. It's action now. It's action.
Yeah, it is absolutely. The KPIs for the club are not membership numbers.
They will happen. That will happen as a result of getting football success. And I know
it's not rocket surgery, is it?
It's not rocket surgery. And look, credit to the club, of course, they've done a fantastic job of engagement. Their engagement people with the fans has been second to none. We do feel like we're part of it, part of the footy club, and that's a reason why membership has grown. Is the engagement with the people, but we're wising up. I hope as members, and we're wising up to the fact that it just can't be the football heads department that roll if we don't win games. It's the people who put those people in the positions.
Yep. Yeah, and I was shocked too, Paul, that Eddie didn't get a role. I don't know, maybe he just got a little bit disenchanted with the whole thing. I know a lot of us have, and he decided to move on to Geelong, which they will benefit very, very greatly from his experience. I haven't heard anything behind the scenes there, so I can't really shed any light on that. But as I understood it, when his contract first was to come back to Carlton, It wasn't when he finished playing that he was going to move into a development role, particularly with the Indigenous players.
Yeah, it shocked me. I thought it was a lay down as air that Eddie would be Eddie would be involved. I
Well,
think he
not only
left.
that, I thought it was a signed contract.
Yeah, well, he left at a time certainly where we were still going through a lot of those changes, where there hadn't been a lot of appointments made. So potentially he saw that all going on and thought, well, I better make a move before I lose the opportunity. Lots of changes happen. Obviously, the new CEO, which Brendan has just pointed out, has come into the role, and we hear and know of his successes and reputation with Geelong. Let's hope that he can work harmoniously with the board, because the last two CEOs haven't had that luxury or luck to be able to work with the board. So it's going to be interesting to see how that happens. I would hope that he's in a position now where he could say, fuck you to the board if he's not been able to do his job effectively.
Yeah, look, I think Brian Cook's one of those people, though. Unlike the last two, Brian Cook's one of those people. Is when he talks, you listen, not because of his authoritarianism, but because of his knowledge and because he's that darn good at what he does.
Yeah, that's a point. That's a very good point. Andrew Lake charging fans $15.90 to attend last Thursday, not the club's finest moment. I'm a bit on the fence on this one. I'm thinking, we've lost a lot of revenue over the last couple of years. Members got in for free. You need to potentially give members some kind of benefit for becoming a member, and that is getting in the games for free. $15.90 is probably fair is pretty rich to go to a scratch match. So I agree in that space. $15.90 is way too much. But I think there should have been a charge.
Yeah. Oh yeah, $9.90, put it just a little bit under $10. I do like that step up. Just makes you think about, all right, will I buy a membership at this early stage? Yeah, I can see the idea behind it.
Okay.
Yeah, and now Craig, member merchandise is crapola. Yeah, I got some very ordinary stuff, but a beautiful member polo. So very, very fine knit. So if you want a member polo, everyone, I'd say get out there and get one. They will go quick because they're one of the best that has been for a long, long time, probably since 2014, where you got that really nice, heavy sort of almost wool, if you like. It was bloody beautiful. But also, sorry, Trev, we'll come back to what you said in a minute, but I just want to talk about something close to my heart. Now, this is to do with merchandise. Now, we've received, Trev, you probably have as well. I have received numerous calls and emails and messages to say, when's the Carlton Live merchandise coming out? My response to that is, don't buy merchandise from us. Don't waste your money. If you want to, put in for Carlton Live and make a bit of a donation, donate to Peter Bazzasto and to Alex Jezelenko and their particular causes, because those guys are doing it really, really freaking tough at the moment. So put your money there. Don't buy our merchandise.
We haven't got merchandise.
Yeah, that's what I mean. That's what we're not bringing it out. If you got that money saved up, just put it to them.
I thought a John Rowe bobblehead would have gone down very, very well with a guitar. That would have been very nice. No, good point, mate. Yeah, there's so many causes they could be putting. People could be money to, and they're definitely a couple of good ones.
Yeah.
Footy. I didn't go to the scratch match, unfortunately, because I got to isolate. What's exciting you this year? What's exciting you this year? Are you? Let's put it out this year. Do you think we can make finals?
Yes.
What is making you think that way?
By simple virtue of that, and I put this in my report that I did. If you haven't seen it, go online to our Facebook page and have a look. the simple fact is, if Michael Voss doesn't stop these runs of 4 and 5 goals, like what happened in the second quarter, we're paying out years 2 and 3. There's no doubt about it. So he's got to get that right. And again, I said earlier in the show, he's yet to impress. He's got to, if he wants to impress, he's got to stop that.
Yeah, we obviously saw that in the second quarter against the scratchy against St Kilda. I don't pay too much attention to those things. Obviously, we're trying things. We're putting people in different positions. It's about structure and game plan and movement of the ball, not necessarily the scoreboard in a lot of cases. But, that is right. That is right. We can't, in the real games, that's one of our biggest things we need to do. Those runs that have happened in the last 2 years have cost us so many games. It's not funny. Our defence and our team defence and the loss of Liam Jones is going to be felt. So it's going to be interesting to see how he handles those kind of in-game situations. We criticise Brendan Bolton for his in-game sort of lack of tactics, I suppose, for want of a better word. So yeah, Vossi's going to have to come to the party when it comes to that for sure.
Yeah. Look, I know it's only a scratchy, and it's not against you or anyone else who's made comment on this. I know it's not a scratchy. I know that we had shots at our end and missed. It was the whole energy and the pressure that just totally dropped off for a quarter. And you would hope that these practice matches and pre-season matches are at least some sort of indication of the sort of effort that you're going to bring. Skills are a different story. They need to fine-tune their skills by doing these matches, but the effort and intensity is a different thing. We cannot have these 20, 25-minute, 30-minute periods like we did on, when was it, Thursday? Where we were just totally lackluster. And that's what opens up these 4 or 5 goal runs. If Saints had a kick straight in that quarter, 10 goals, easily. That's what we've got to arrest. And no one seems to have an answer. With coaching staff on field, it just seems to happen. And no one's got any method to sort of say, right, let's G these boys up, let's go. Or let's make this move, let's go. And yeah, I'll say it again, if Voss doesn't arrest this, he's gone. He has to be. With the Dallas Cowboys mentality, is if it's not playoffs, heads roll.
What did you see, if anything, from Thursday in terms of a new sort of game style? Obviously, there's different positioning for some of the players. Did anything stand out for you Thursday night that you said, okay, well, this is clearly a different way that we've been playing? I'll get a beer while you answer that.
Yeah, I actually thought we were going the man a lot more, and we're trying to make a really physical stamp on the game, which is something that we've seen in patches, but there was a real definite edge to that, which is good and bad. I think it's like anything, you want balance. You want that balance of to know when to go and when to not. You can't be physical and harassing the whole time, because the umpires will wake up as all of a sudden there's free kicks against you. Or what happened, several times on Thursday, is we had this clear directive to go the man, and the ball just went out and sat there. Someone from the opposite team picked it up and scored a goal or progressed their offensive a lot greater. So it really needs to be a bit of a balance there, I think. We can't go at the man all the time. And you try that against a Geelong or a Richmond or bigger bodies, and you come off second best every single time.
Yeah, I liked the run and the setup off half back, and I liked the positioning of our midfield when we didn't have the ball. That was a big standout for me. I did like there was a clear consensus for those halfbacks to get up the ground and run and provide that extra option. We've had a big problem in the last few years about our midfield not defending. So, I did like that element of it. I did see a fair bit of, that happening with, players like Matt Kennedy getting back, and our wingers getting back to bolster up the defence. So that two-way running is got to be there.
I thought Setterfield was great at that role too.
He was, and that's something they all need to bring. And you're talking about arresting these 5-goal, 6-goal, whatever runoffs, and it a lot for me comes back to the laziness on the lack of accountability of those players to get back and to position themselves where they need to be when we haven't got the ball. So for me, that's a big personnel and a big attitude type thing, and a big thing that hopefully Voss instills in the players, and that a lot goes to selection integrity. We've talked about that many times about playing players when they're not actually doing the things they need to do. So hopefully we see a bit of that happening.
Yeah, but it's also the game style that we've been handed is to push up as far as possible to try and keep it in the forward 50, which works to a certain extent until you get found out. And once you go over the back, that whole corridor last year, last 2 years, last 3 years, however long you want to go back, was completely open once they broke us open. And that's where we got scored heavily against. And, I play a lot of football, played a lot of basketball. If you get a ton of fast breaks against you, your morale goes to shit.
Yeah. Oh, it does. And again, even in the, you say I said these practice matches are a bit different, but I think that the result can do a fair bit for morale and seeing where you are. We know that we've got players that are competing for spots. There's a bit of, particularly the midfield type spots and the wing spots. So that's going to hopefully, see a bit of extra effort for these scratchies. The last thing you want to do is go into the season when you've got belted by, 10 or 15 goals for your two scratchies. It can demoralise you.
Yeah.
And Andrew Lake says, seemed to play a different brand in the second term, waiting and seeing if it was a case of drinking with style of play. First term, fast ball movement, outside runners. Second term became kick mark mantra, the slower ball movement. And maybe that was an attempt to try and sort of slow work on that style of play when there's a run on, that kick Geelong style of footy when there's things aren't going their ways, to stop and prop and slow it down and see what things happen, reassess, go again. I don't know. It's too early to tell.
Yeah, but you don't do that style for a whole quarter. You do that style to arrest 5-10 minutes.
Of course.
Hawthorn started that years ago. That whole tempo thing with Clarkson, and it worked a treat. Because I think where I was most critical of Teague is his statement that when we play our brand of football, we can beat anyone. So that means 100 minutes you're going to have to be playing your brand of football, but that's just unrealistic. The other team's going to get a run on. You have to be aware of it, and you have to be ready for it, and you have to do your homework on the opposition. Okay, where is that going to come from? Now, I think we all lost a lot of hope last year when Collingwood knocked us off in round 2, and Jordan De Goey went wild. He just did what he liked. But that's, if you've done your homework, that's to say, right, he's going to play a bit of a different role. He's going to play off the wing and then hit forward. If he gets his confidence up, that's a game gone. And it was. Absolutely was. You put a tag on him and take away his confidence, never hear from him again after that first quarter.
Or you just wave a little white bag at him in the crowd, and he might get a bit distracted.
Yeah, he might need a little bit of talcum powder. They do get sweaty out there, those boys. But
thank you very much for joining us, ladies and gentlemen. This is Carlton Live, our first show for season 22. Really appreciate you tuning in. Thank you for your comments. Feel free to throw questions, comments, criticisms in the chat box. We want to hear from you. You guys run the show, not us. We try to waffle on as much as we can, but it's you guys that run the show. And we're loving being back for the season, and I, for one, also just can't wait to get to the footy and connect with a few people and see us play live. That's one thing I'm looking forward to as well.
Yeah, and yeah, Debbie.
And getting away from my screaming baby. Nasty.
Oh,
Oh,
you
I
got
had a
straight
baby.
hell to that one.
I had a baby in the off season. Did you know that?
Yeah, congratulations, Trev.
Well, I didn't have the baby. My wife had the baby. I was there. I was somewhat participating in that. But yeah, good to increase the Carlton membership base.
Yeah, congratulations, Trev, on that.
Thank
We
you.
love your waffling, boys. Thanks, Paul. G'day, Debbie. You just got home, probably because you've just come via a gondola or a kayak or something. You're getting hit very hard down there with the rain.
She's probably been on
Could
it. She's
have been.
probably been on a hot date. Deb, no, Deb.
Could have been. But yeah, great to see you, Debbie.
You noted this in our little chat. The delivery into the forward line and that scratchy seemed to seem a little bit same old, same old. Harry wasn't there, of course. Maybe that was a little bit of an issue because obviously that's what they would have been training for the preseason in terms of Harry being there. Charlie, maybe they were trying to give a bit more avenue to Charlie up in the air. I don't know, but with these good running wingers and hopefully highly skilled centre players, I didn't see a lot of that eyes down kick to a nice lead. It was one thing that I thought, okay, that seems a little bit familiar.
Yeah. Look, there was definitely a lot of that booting it to the top of the goal square. Yeah, there's a bobblehead going. Yeah, a bit of the Beatles here. Where was I? I've just lost my train of thought, but that's okay.
Forward line
Two,
delivery.
two things out of that. Charlie he was going at 50%, no doubt about it. Usually had two or three people on him anyway, but he wasn't doing the second efforts and all that.
No.
And I didn't mind that because he's got to go into self-preservation mode.
Mm.
Took a little bit of a knock to the knee, a little bit of a twinge to the knee, very, very late in the game, and I shit myself. I thought, here we go again. But he just needs to get that time on the park, bat out in the crease for a while. He is one there where you can say, right, he needs to just back off for the moment, just to get his timing right with his leads, just to read the play of football all over again. So he got an exemption from me. He got a hall pass. But I want to get onto the positives now. And, there was a lot of criticism of Lockie O'Brien online. And I understand that criticism because he coughed the ball up a couple of times, particularly in tackles. But my response to that was, first of all, that's coachable. That's teachable. You train.
And it's a scratchy game where everyone's a bit rough and rusty.
Yeah, and he's another one that needs time in the crease, particularly on that point you just made. Bit rough. He hasn't had the senior experience to be able to get the timing right. All right, I don't have that split second extra that I do in the VFL to make that decision. The first decision is the one you've got to go with, unless you've got a body like Patrick Cripps and people just fall off you and so forth, which he doesn't have. So first option is the best. But what I loved about Lockie O'Brien, I almost put him in votes. He would have been fourth or fifth, probably fifth. Adam Chera fourth for me, which I got a bit of curry over as well. O'Brien he willed himself to every single contest, and the reason why he got pinged like that is because he was doing the inside stuff because no one else was there. Type of thing, that's not his bag. His bag is to be running to the contest and feeding off and creating stuff. And to your point of the delivery in the forward line, he is still doing the 50, 60 metre darts that go about 10 foot off the ground and hitting people lace out, which people forget that he's one of the only players who can do that in the league. So I'm very bullish on him for this season. I think he's really, really taken it up a notch. Needs to work on his areas. Someone said perfect thing the other day is that no one's actually, it was Michael Barlow in the commentary. Has there been anyone who's officiated or played the perfect game? And you can just say, well, you know what? There's nothing to work on.
Look, we're highly critical of, and we are highly critical of a lot of the guys. Um, there's plenty of whipping boys. Lockie O'Brien, is a whipping boy. He has been around the club for a little while. Our expectations as supporters are extremely high for those kind of players to be now consistently performing week in, week out, and the tolerance level for and the patience that we have as supporters is is very, very thin. So, anything that a player does, particularly a player like Lockie, who's in and out and marginalised, is going to be exemplified 100-fold.
Yeah, it is. And it does get back to the Dallas Cowboys syndrome. And we've got depth. We've got depth. If you don't perform over a period of time.
Did you? And it's a good question, and I was just about to raise it. It's an interesting thing that that he got a run over someone like Paddy Dow, for instance, who was playing in the twos. Doesn't seem to be mentioned any kind of injury situation. Paddy Dow did a few good things to the end of this last year that was looking good, but obviously starting off in the twos doesn't all go well for where he's situated for a round one Guernsey.
Well, it's interesting you say that because Chera took his position, I would have thought, in the absence of our boy Sammy. But
well, Setterfield was one who didn't really play much last year on the outer. Dow was in. Another bloke, Kennedy's another bloke who's probably taken Dow's spot. So I'm talking about potentially if you talk about O'Brien and Dow as being in that sort of similar vein, to go with O'Brien over Dow was an interesting situation.
Yeah, but Paddy Dow's not as good an outside player, and we had the inside players we thought to be able to handle the game. Lockie O'Brien's one of those outside players that delivers darts. So I can see that selection. I think that's pretty sensible.
I just thought it interesting this stage of the season and this stage of where they were and have been previously in terms of the selection, Dow being put in the twos.
Yeah, but when you talk about guys like Kennedy and Setterfield, they're probably just ahead in so far as they can play back or forward as well. It's probably Dow probably can't. Not to the same effect. So I think that might have influenced things too. Again, in terms of being flexible and one of the things I really loved was Pitnet and his ability to not only ruck, and he dominated that first quarter like I've never seen a ruckman do. Well, I have seen it in the previous years, but I haven't seen it for a long time. He dominated that quarter and then went back and provided that extra tool that we are now missing with Liam Jones. He was fantastic.
Yeah.
Another one that should have been in votes.
You mentioned him before, Adam Chera. First real look at him in Navy. He very, very polished. Very, very polished. Very, very. He didn't. I don't think he missed a target all day. He ran to the right spots. He's going to add a lot of value if he plays that finishing role on the outside.
Yeah, so when I didn't put him in votes, someone probably rightly said, "What else does he have to do to get in votes?" Because he had a ripper of a game, didn't he? He's. I made the comment in my notes to say that I hadn't seen a lot of Adam Chera, except for Carlton games, and he didn't really impress me in the Carlton games. I thought he was, he was well and truly beaten by our midfield. But hasn't taken much to impress me to see that game. He is class. He is silk. Like you said, he knows the game of football. He knows where to run.
Look, it's what we expected and what we wanted from him. He's bought into that. He's bought into the side for exactly that same reason, for that finish and that polish. add that extra vein of midfield. Walshy not being there is amazingly disappointing that's happened, but that's life, and that's typical Carlton this time of year. For him to step in now and take that Walsh role will be really, really handy while Walshy's out.
Yeah, so if you split that now between two people, because Sam Walsh he's a freak, there's not another one like him in the league. There probably never will be one for a long, long time. So if you split that role in two, that Chera had the silk and big number 4, he had the willingness to get to every contest and the work ethic. I was really impressed actually with both of them.
Andrew took the words out of my mouth. I think Hewitt and Chera are the missing pieces when it comes to finals. Hewitt, exactly right, Andrew, did a lot of things, particularly off the ball. He's a bigger guy than you think when you look at him on TV. So he's that body that we really need in there to be that third whatever player, as potentially Ed maybe, and then another guy Ed didn't play. So as it maybe Ed twilights in his career. So I think Chera and Hewitt, they're the missing pieces for me. They're the missing pieces that I think will take us to the finals.
Yeah, I think Hewitt plays that role that we always were so hopeful that Kennedy and Setterfield could play, and haven't. They've risen to it in some ways. Setterfield's still being played out of position, and I think Hewitt coming in has probably dimmed his future as that particular role, and will probably look to get another role elsewhere, and all the power to him. But no one's stepped up, have they, to become that second string or second fiddle?
Keep an eye on Kennedy. This is going to be Kennedy's year. Keep an eye on the way he finished off last year. The way he turned his game around, I think. Just keep an eye on Kennedy. Just keep an eye. I think this is his year.
Yeah, I don't mind that, but it's where do you put them? Is the thing. If we've got a fully stocked team, right? Who's your midfield?
It's Kennedy, Walsh, Chera, Hewitt,
Cripps,
of course. Yeah, they're your midfield.
No, I'm talking about guts with not wingers.
Walsh, Cripps, Kennedy.
Yeah, okay.
I think Kennedy, from what I saw him do last year, he's putting it together. I think he's starting to put it together. And I loved his game against on the Saints too. I thought he was everywhere. I thought he was in the action on the outside, pushing in defence. I think Kennedy's in for a big year.
Yeah, that's my only query is where, because I reckon it's Kennedy or Hewitt, unless you play Kennedy off a flank.
Yeah, Hewitt's going to be that. I think Hewitt's going to be changing in there for sure. He's not. Yeah. I don't think he's starting man. I think he's the chop out for those guys.
Yeah, which is a bit of a kick in the guts for him coming to the club, and all of a sudden you're playing seconds.
Oh, I don't think it's seconds. I think I think Hewitt's in our best 22.
Okay, so on the bench,
he's going to be the centre field. He's going to be the second. He's going to be off and on, changing with the midfielders.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Fair enough.
And it's going to be, he's got that Ed Curnow role.
Yeah.
And whether Ed can sustain a spot, I don't know.
Probably with injuries, I would say.
Yeah.
But we saw that coming, didn't we? We saw that coming.
Yeah, we did. Congratulations. Congratulations. Life membership to Ed too, which is a fantastic result.
Yes, beautiful.
Cheers, Ed. Well, best thing Ed was to do was bring his brother to the club. He should get a life membership just for
Yeah. Now, Paul, it's a very, very good question that you ask. Is who's going to take Liam Jones's spot? Um, there's several layers to this. First of all, I think that our defence will go away from one-on-one and go back to the way it was probably with Bolton, where you had 6 players in defence, with midfielders as well doing their particular role. But in pure terms of a full back, I think Oscar McDonald's probably got the lead at the moment. Definitely not our number 11. I think he fulfills that role of a chop out, third up type of a player, pretty much like he does in the forward line, and he could be handy at that. But I think I'd rather see Marchbank in that role, as he's a little bit more silk.
Yeah, it's first of all, it's just so disappointing to lose Jones. Me and you sat next to him, what was it, 2 years ago at a Carlton season. It was a season opener, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, 2 years ago, wasn't it? Yeah, would have been.
Most delightful, engaging bloke that you'd care to sit next to and talk about footy. Absolutely sad situation that he's not with us right now.
To be fair, I didn't talk much to him because I was just, trying to talk to the Hosking twins all night. So,
well, to be fair, he also didn't really want to talk to you. He said, "If I keep that bloke away from me, he's a bit creepy." I'm seeing him ogling the Hosking twins, and I really don't like what I see. He'd look good on a bobblehead, is what his exact words were. Started early. But, it's just sad, really sad that he hasn't been able to fulfill and continue his role at the footy club. Another question for another time is, if things change and mandates change, would you welcome him back?
Yeah, look, I don't know what the retirement rules are. I think you've got 12 months, haven't you, that you've got to be out of the game to come back. Or I don't know what the rule is with the same team. But he's up at the Broadbeach Cats now, or from my perspective, down. And the thing that gets me is the quaffle rules are no different.
Well, there's no mandate up there. That's the rule. The mandate for the AFL is that you've got to be double vaccinated, otherwise you can't play.
Which I believe it is for the quaffle as well, but I could be wrong.
I don't know how he's playing him. I'm prepared to go. I'm prepared to go with McGovern. I like what he did on against the Saints game. Again, very little to go by, but I'm backing McGovern in that role to take over from Liam Jones. He will need a team defence structure because he's loose as a goose. I think Omac will get an opportunity as well, and he's a good swingman. Good swingman too.
Yeah, fair enough. Got to take a quick break.
Sure. Andrew Lake says, "Where does Jack Martin fit in the conversation?" Wow. Carlton Live sponsored player, by the way, Jack Martin, and thank you for bringing that up, Andrew. It's a fascinating conversation. Didn't play against the Saints. Not sure why. Maybe he's got a little bit of a niggle. He's a player that hasn't really performed. He hasn't done anything to justify really putting him in starting 22 for this year. We've got one more game before the start of the season against Melbourne, and that's this Thursday night. Whether he plays in that, if he doesn't play in that, he doesn't play round one. Simple as that. Selection integrity would say that he shouldn't be playing. Selection integrity would say that he's got games last year that he potentially shouldn't have played in. So I think he's not really in our best 22 at this present time. I don't see him in round one. I'd love to hear what everyone else thinks. Really disappointing because we know what he can do and the talent that he's got. But in terms of form and in terms of past performance for the Blues, unfortunately, I don't see him in the best 22 at the moment. Love to hear what you think and love to hear what anyone else thinks. And I hope I want to see him. I really want to see him. Really want to see him do well because I think at his best he adds a lot of value, and at his best he's very versatile and he can play some time in the guts, even though there's probably too many in there. But he's a very smart player and a very good finisher. So we need him, but selection wise, surely can't be in round one calculations right now.
Who's that, Martin?
Jack Martin.
Yeah. Agree with that.
And it's disappointing. It's disappointing, but yep. Let's see what Vossi can do to bring the best out of him. I just talking about selection integrity, John, and he picked last year on the back of nothing. That's kind of stuff's got to change. He just can't be playing because his name's Jack Martin and he's on $800,000.
Yeah, look. All right. So who takes his role at the moment? Do you think would that be a Kennedy?
Well, I think Jack Silvani's taken his role. I don't think
he was bloody good, wasn't he?
I think Jack Silvani is taking his role. Jack Silvani is what we thought Jack Martin might be, and that is a strong high half forward, good finisher, versatile player. So I think Jack Silvani's got him covered at the moment by a street.
God, he was good on Thursday. He was my third. For those who wondered why I didn't put Jerry in for votes, he was my third. Cripps was an absolute standout. And Wiedering was an absolute standout. And I had my third was Jack Silvani. He was immense, but for 4 quarters.
Paul Quixley says maybe play Martin forward pocket like an Eddie Betts role last couple of years. If he earns it, he probably could be a good goal sneak forward pocket. That's going to be an interesting selection right now. Who are your 2 starting forward pockets?
Hang on. Excuse me.
You're welcome.
My dog absolutely hates it when I sneeze. She just comes up to me and says, "So what's wrong?" That's so sweet.
I just had a Black Hawk helicopter just go over the top of me too.
That's just the Russians, mate. They're just making sure after that Ukraine joke that you made. But anyway, I liked Durden's game. I think he added a few more strings to his bow in the off season, insofar as that he could push up a little bit, but then go back and do a little bit of defence when needed. I thought he was okay, but the man. We talk about what you talked about at the top of the show. What excites me about this year, Josh Honey. He's not fit. He's not ready yet. But he's the one that really excites me for that particular role.
Yeah,
because he can do anything, and it's full credit to our two offsiders on the staff, Mark and excuse me, and our resident Google to pick him before he even came to Carlton. So we've got to get this bloke to Carlton.
I tell you who is in front. Another bloke is in front of Martin, and that's Kemp. Kemp he seems to have surprised everyone with a little stint up forward. So he can play that high half forward role, can't he? He played a bit of forward in his junior career. In fact, I think he was a forward in his junior days. So at the moment, your 2 half forwards are Brody Kemp and Jack Silvani.
Yeah, Kemp's a funny one. Because I've always seen him as a big body midfield to take over from Cripps eventually. Just wonder if they're putting him back and forward just to round him out.
Well, it's getting him on the field, getting him into games. And
True. AFL experience. Yeah.
and
We
if he's
talked about
and if he's a
the
swing
midfield
man,
being stacked.
yeah, and if he's a swing man, so be it. But at the moment, he's hitting the ball hard. He's taking some really really good grabs. He's obviously very highly rated. So he's him and Sauce are my two starting half forwards at this point in time.
Yeah, Lana. Yeah, Kempy was terrific. What impressed me most about him was his timing of the run, timing of the lead. It's very good, very
Yep,
good.
yep. We'll do our best 22 after the Melbourne game, no doubt. It'll be interesting to
Yep.
see the situation. Might even have a competition out there to see who can guess the starting 22 for round one against the Tigers. That'll be always a bit of fun.
Yeah, let's do that. We'll do two things. Starting 22 for a bit of a prize, but best 22 just for just to see how it comes up, because there's going to be a million combinations.
Yeah, that is. Your mate Fish, where does he fit in?
So I really liked with Vossi. One of the things that he did do well, I think, was to get some coverage on Hill, and not necessarily with the best negative player, but with the fastest player. So he got Philp onto him first, who's just lightning quick. And his read of the play, we saw that a couple of times in the first half, was just exceptional. But he just was able to get to a contest where he shouldn't have been able to, to intercept. Putting him on Hill first and then Fisher was a really, really good move. So that might be his role. Fisher's... Wow, he could play small forward. He could play in the midfield. If he's going to do that sort of a role, he may even be a small back.
I don't have him in my starting 22, Fish. I think he's just too all over the place. If we lost him in the preseason, it's like we did SPS. I wouldn't have batted an eyelid. I think his inconsistency is too vast. I think he's got a long way to go. I just don't have him in my best 22. I think he's got a long way to go.
Yeah,
his highlight reel looks good, but we're over highlight reels. We need consistent week in, week out performances, and that's just not Fish for me.
Yeah, okay. Andrew Light kept going to be like a modern day Brent Croswell. God,
that's a fair call.
If only.
That's a fair call. I like Durden. Durden for me and Owies. I like Owies. He gives 100%. So I think they've got my two forward pocket roles. I like the game.
I forgot about Owies, but his leading is also excellent, but also his ability to read the play and to put pressure on. He's such a competitor. He gets a nod from me.
I liked Williamson's game on the weekend. I thought he was really. He's clearly got a lot of strength.
You always do.
I do, but in particular, I think he really stood out and did a role. He's been criticised in the past for I suppose his bit of a slow decision making, but I think he's really shown a bit. He's put on a bit more muscle. I think his strength. He took a couple of good strong marks against some opposition. He's played some really great tackles, and I think his left foot is obviously a strength. But I liked him. I like him up on the wing. So I think him and I have him over Setterfield and Nunes at the moment. So I'd love to see him up on the wing with Chera. I think that'd be a very good strong wing combination.
Yeah. Yeah, I think there's still a place for O'Brien. I still hold him dear.
Yeah.
But yeah, look, Willow, he didn't do much to disappoint, did he?
Look, there's a lot to talk about. We've got a couple of games. We've got the Melbourne game, obviously coming up Thursday night, and then round one. Where's players like Doc Doherty going to be okay? Where's Plowman? Is he going to be fine? There's a lot to play out. So many moving pieces that's going to play out before the start of the season. We've still got a spot on our rookie list to give. I don't know when that timing is up, but players like Glass McCasker, Paddy Cripps' brother, all that kind of stuff, all those kind of guys have got a potential career ahead of them if they get a spot too.
So you mentioned before, what if we're keeping that spot alive for Jones?
Maybe there'd be a special dispensation. I don't know whether you could bring someone in like that. And there's also going to be supplementary lists for COVID. I just don't know. It's whether you take him back. Those other things. Don't know.
It's all one great big question mark, isn't it? Yes, Ricky Spencer. I really want to touch on this. He might be a bolter. There's no doubt about it. I was quite a fan that he played in the twos. To make that statement to him, all right, you got to earn this. You got a lot of talent, a shitload of talent, but you're not a walk-up start. I thought that was great. Put it in, yeah.
Could he be like the Bulldog? Who was the Bulldogs player, the number one draft? Ugle Hagen, was it?
Yeah.
It took him a while to get his first game. Maybe he'll be the Ugle Hagen of Carlton. Well, maybe he might be a bolter. It'd be nice to see him play against the D's. I'd like to see him out there and give him a crack at having putting his name up, putting his name up for selection for round one, and how good would it be to see him up there for round one too?
Yeah, absolutely. But he's got a bit to crack through.
Yep.
He'd probably take Durden's spot at the moment.
There's a competition for spots, and this game against Melbourne, it's fascinating. Melbourne, obviously, we don't need to speak about them; they're just solid all over the place. The last thing we want to do is come away with a poor result. I don't think we're going to get a poor result. I think we're going to find out blokes who want to play for round one. And although St Kilda was a little bit of a runaround, tap on the shoulder type thing, this is now where blokes who are looking for round one selections will be putting it out there. So you're going to see your forward pockets doing everything they can, laying tackles, being defensive. You're going to see two-way running from the mids. You're going to see a lot. Well, we want to see. I shouldn't say we're going to see it, but that's what we want to see, those blokes putting their name up for round one. And the last thing we want is Melbourne to tear us a new one when we're trying to do that.
Yeah, agree with all that. Absolutely. Now, there's a point that I'm trying to get to. I can't scroll down. But there was a wonderful point here someone made about backline. Where does everyone fit? Where you made the point, where does Doc come back? But where does he fit in once he does come back? And I'm going to say when, because he's that strong a character that he's just going to get back on the park.
Mm-hmm.
Now I made the comment, and I have ever since they were both brought in extraordinary money to Carlton. Is I think you can only play one of Sard and Williams in their current capacity, because you've got to bring Doc back, because you've got to bring Stocker back. What's everyone's thoughts? Because Doc for me he's the other running halfback, and on the other halfback flank you've either got one of Sard or Williams. I think Newman as a defensive position, he gets there if Lockie Plowman doesn't, and then you've got that sixth position. What are your thoughts?
Well, I'll give my thoughts straight away, and I'll definitely want to hear from the audience as well. But my thoughts is there's no rules. It's selection. It's the best player with the best form plays in the spot. If it's Sard and Williams and they're playing the best footy, then they play. If Williams isn't performing and Newman is, then he's in the side. If Doc isn't performing and if Doc's performing and Sard isn't, he's out of the side. That's how
different roles. completely different roles.
Doc and Sard both play off half back. Can play off half
Okay,
back.
yeah, fair enough. But when you talk about Stocker and Newman, that's different.
Oh, yeah, you've got to be. Obviously, you're not going to talk about a player that's playing forward against a player that's playing back. I'm talking about the players who are lining up competing for those spots. I think Sard and Williams at the moment are the perfect halfbacks. Both fit the game style that I think we want to play, which is that run off halfback, deliver to our hopefully the couple of best forwards in the comp. So it's form. It's form.
Yeah, okay.
Doc, while it's a great story at the moment, can't play round one. He hasn't got the runs on the board yet to do that. I don't know where his fitness lies. Obviously, amazing situation that he's even back. Amazing. And when we thank whoever we need to thank that he's back and he's healthy, and that he's even considered to play footy, because that's the first and foremost.
Yeah.
Keeping that out of the equation, footy first. He stepped back from the captaincy role. I think kudos to him for doing so. But footy's footy. When it comes down to that, if he's not playing his best footy, then it's the bloke who is playing the best footy.
Yeah. Yep. Okay. So I'm thinking more perfect world. 3 doesn't go into 2, and I'd pick Doc ahead of the 2 of the others.
Okay. I at the moment I've got Williams and Sard ahead of Doc.
Is that for health or is that talent?
Form. Talent is that's yeah. Doc's for me a very good intercept, reading of the play type of forward. Key defender or solid defender, one-on-one defender, not his strong suit.
But that's neither of the 3 of them. They're not one-on-ones.
Well, I don't know about that. I think Sard's a really good one-on-one defender.
Yeah. Yeah, fair enough.
Williams and Doc will compete. And Williams might creep up the ground as well.
Yeah, fair enough. All good. All good. Now, is it time we bring in our surprise guests?
Is it? I'm not sure. Is it? Okay. Maybe it is. It'd be a surprise to me if you did.
Well, I can't do it. You've got control, but these 2 wanted to get in on the action.
Okay. Who's coming in?
Our Thursday counterparts.
Oh, okay. That's good. You better do it before my battery depletes. How do I do that?
Just invite them on Facebook.
Oh, okay. Are they wanting to come in? I don't know if I can.
Well, I haven't seen them yet.
No.
So maybe they're not back from work. It's only, 5:44 over there?
Frank's on board. Let them. I don't know how to invite them anyway.
Just a link like you do with anyone else.
Plus my battery's going to go flat, but I'll see what I can do.
Yeah, fair enough.
Are you going to get to see any games, Johnny? You're going to come down at any stage?
I'm hoping so. I was absolutely rapt that we got 2 Queensland games. I thought that was fantastic. That's the first time in years, I think. But Queensland supporter group will probably prove me a little bit different. But especially with COVID, that was full on. But before that, yeah, that's good. Hoping for round 1, but finances probably not at the moment. But yeah, we'll do so later on in the year.
Do we need to put some stars up to people to get some money for you down here?
No, give it all to Buzz. Okay. Give it all to Buzz and Jezza, for Christ's sake.
I was hoping to win the 120 mil the other night. I would have probably shifted you a couple of bucks to come down.
Good on you.
Carlton Live supporters. It's good to be back. Thank you very much for those who have joined us tonight. Really appreciate it. It's Tuesday night. Gives Johnny and I back. We haven't spoken to each other for 6 months. It's good to see. Johnny has reversed the aging process living up in Queensland. So he's doing very, very well. I've had another child, which has escalated my aging process. That's an idea. We might start a GoFundMe. Yeah, no, I think there's some other funds we can work out for that.
Yeah, Ricky, I will for Buzz. I just didn't have time to get to it before the show. But yes, definitely. Either that or we're going to put merchandise up again in terms
Yeah.
of prints and so forth.
Do you know the latest?
I've got a little bit of a surprise up my sleeve. I've just got to get it together.
You're gonna put out an album?
Yes.
Are you drinking tonight?
Yes.
Oh, I haven't seen much action in that department. Are you sort of not going hard? I've had half a dozen stubbies to your one. What's going on?
You're kidding, right? I'm just learning how to put it under the camera. I think it's
You
like
haven't
on the footy show they just used to put it in their mugs.
you haven't normally blokes get in the gym in the preseason. Obviously, that's avoided. The lockdown. Locked down the gyms up there.
Yeah, that doesn't bother me. That sort of stuff because I think at my age, the bigger that I get, it just means there's more that I've got to burn off. As time goes on, more. I'm
trying to lose a couple of kilos and get fit for a wedding in April, and I saw Kuda put up a little ad on Instagram. He says, 8 weeks, I can get you fit, whatever he said. And then I said, if you can make me look like you in 8 weeks, then I'll sign up, Kuda. And he goes, maybe 8 months, Trev.
Nice comeback.
He clocked me on that one. He clocked me on that one for sure.
All right, so no action with our counterparts?
No, but the Carlton live second tier string guys, I shouldn't say that. They're taking us over now, the Western Bar. I think they're going to be on Thursday night. Make sure you tune into them. We love them.
Straight after the game, they're going to be on?
Yeah. So, with Carlton Live, we're going to do a couple of new things this year. We've got a few more shows that are planned. I won't give away too much right now. We're going to keep doing what we do, and that's waffle on a Tuesday night, have a couple of drinks, talk to you guys.
And let you guys run the show. That's the number one thing that you said before.
So whatever you want, we'll talk about. As I said, you'll probably see us rant and get drunk during the year. Hopefully, it'll be celebratory drinks more than commisseratory drinks after losses. But yeah, we're gonna mix it up a bit this year. Some good guests, some different panelists, maybe a couple of other shows. Got a couple of other good things to try and engage with you guys and make the supporter base a bit more engaged, have a bit of fun. Like I said, and Johnny said, it's all about you guys. We just love having a chat. We've got nothing else to do on a Tuesday night, so not that we wouldn't want to be here, of course, Johnny.
Exactly right. Favourite time of the week.
It is. Ricky Spencer, a very good friend of ours and the show, a very knowledgeable Carlton person, loves his footy club, and Ricky has said it here. She recently passed, and we send our condolences, as we have already, to you, Rick, about her passing. We will have a drink and have had a drink for her, and as he said, in the Carlton cheer squad until at 15, an inaugural New South Wales supporter group president for 20 years. So our thoughts and again condolences to you and your family, Ricky, in this hard time. So cheers to you, mate.
Yeah, cheers, mate.
I was off the bis too, but I forgot about that. Since it was Tuesday night, I thought I better break that, but I'll get back into my fitness regime tomorrow.
Good stuff.
All right, mate. Thank you very much again. Good to see you again. We'll be back again. Now, this is going to be us on a Tuesday night regularly. Did I say that right? Regularly. Thursday night against the D's. Not sure if I'm going yet, but I'll try and do some stuff from there if I go. But definitely we will be there against the Tigers round 1. Hopefully we can put something together to get a group of the Carlton Live people to something before the game, a few drinks, something to eat, maybe before the Tigers game. It'd be good to catch up in person now that we can do that. We've been missing that human connection, and I'm sure all the footy supporters have been missing that. It's going to be a full house. So touch wood, I don't get anything before round one, but I might just still go anyway. You can't keep me away from that.
Yeah, okay. Great point here from Ricky. Ricky, mate, please hit me up as a DM. We'll sort that out. We'll get that going. I'll put that up on the website and onto Facebook and wherever we need to put it. So yeah, that's a wonderful offer, and thank you.
Cheers. Cheers to you too, Greg. I just saw that note. Our condolences to you and your family. All you guys are our Carlton family. We love it. We love talking to you. We love waffling on. Thank you very much for listening. And we can't wait for the year ahead. Full of confidence, full of positivity, and it's going to be our year.
Cheers.
Thanks, Johnny. Good night, everyone.
Good night, mate.
Cheers.